All right, everybody, welcome to the Backwoods Life podcast, episode 100 and something, because I don't really ever remember the right number. So I just make up stuff as I go. And if you listen to this in the past, you know I'm not good at numbers. I'm good at numbers, but I'm just not good at keeping up with them. But so, so I'm Michael, and I've we started to branch out the podcast a little bit, and we actually want to bring some of our partners that make Backwoods Life possible onto this thing. And today I've got my buddy Joe Coy with I always refer to as the Fourth Arrow Brands. So because you
Yes,
guys
I
like
mean that's a good way to put it.
exactly. And internally, Kevin and I was like, yeah, man, we got we need some Fourth Arrow stuff, and but that means all of the, all of the products that you guys bring forward, and so quickly through that, it's Fourth Arrow camera arms, Final Rest shooting systems, Wyndscent, and that's a electronic scent dispersal that we'll get into that, and it's a phenomenal product. And also, you guys have I say recently, in the last few years, brought on Slayer blinds. And so that's something that we're excited. We're partnering with you guys for this fall to get some of those things on our property and hunt out of them because everything, we saw them in person a few years ago at ATA show and then, seeing the videos. And I know you guys made some updates and changes with them. But anyway, I'm not trying to get too deep and dialed into one thing right now. But Joe, thanks for coming and being on the podcast. I know your time's valuable when you got better things to do
Yeah.
than chalk it up with rednecks. But here we
Oh
are.
no, no, thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. We actually just started dabbling in the podcast world ourselves too. So, I've already done two today. So this is a good
Oh
time.
wow. Okay, so you're
But we're
seasoned
like,
veteran already today.
oh no,
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but like it's one of those things where we kind of get in a roll. Like we had a guest and then we did one that was just kind of talking about, different other random things. So, it's been fun.
Gotcha, gotcha. And that's the thing that I like about I'm not a huge podcast guy. I've gotten into them more and more, but of course, everybody's heard of the bigger name stuff like Joe Rogan, Meat Eater, stuff like that. So we're the little guys. We're down in the minor leagues down here, just trying to have a little search engine
That's right.
visibility for our brands and
Yeah.
also provide a few minutes of entertainment for people driving. My wife loves
Yeah.
podcasts. That's the thing. Like she's like,
Yeah.
I listen to this one and that one and that one and that one and that one. I was like, I can't do that. Like I can't sit and listen to a podcast and
Uh,
edit video or work on social media stuff or
yeah.
all that. My brain can't absorb two mediums at one time. I don't know how she
Yeah.
does it and retains what she listens to.
Yeah. It really
So
depends on like what you're doing it with. Cause, if I'm working outside, I'm mowing the grass or, just
mhm.
doing chores and
Yeah.
stuff, like I listen to podcasts,
Yeah.
I'll do stuff like that. But, day to day, I mean, I grew up farming too, like on the tractor.
Hmm.
I can run the tractor all day long, listen to podcasts. And then you're hungry for content. But
Yeah.
me, I'm using my mind more than, anything else, when I'm working
Right.
out. So it's like, I can't just sit here and listen to a podcast while I edit a video. That doesn't work,
Right. Right. Right.
or I work on an ad or design a,
Yeah.
different things like that. But
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Like when I get my headphones on and I'm getting in the editing world, I'm thinking, I need to listen to what I'm editing, not just
yes, exactly.
podcasts that's play. You know, what I mean, the next thing you know, my audio doesn't match up, or I got some weird song. I'm like,
Yeah,
who
exactly.
picked that? Oh, that was me while I was listening to a podcast. That sounds fun.
Yeah,
So, but
exactly.
anyway, welcome to the podcast world, I guess, and it's a lot of fun though. It gives us time to honestly, from my standpoint, it's almost like a little therapy session with people that I talk with, or even when I just do one alone for catching up with what I've been doing lately for everybody that follows along with Backwoods Life. It's just one of those things you can decompress a little bit and you can kind of talk through some stuff. And I will just talk randomly sometimes and go, man, I don't even know how I got here, but I just figured out something, and I don't even know what I figured
Right.
out, but I figured it out. I promise you,
Yeah.
it works that way.
Yeah. No, it's fun.
Well,
Uh,
well, what's going on in your world right now? I know before we started recording here, we turkey season's kind of you guys are about in like your middle of your season, or y'all kind of toward
yeah,
the end?
we're kind of toward the middle. In Michigan here, we start up right toward the end of April, so we've got another 3 weeks of season yet. I've been out a few times. It's been more slow going than normal, I guess, for me. The other thing that kind of threw a wrench into things was that this last weekend wasn't so bad, but the prior weekend the farmers just spread turkey manure in the fields.
Oh, wow.
I'm walking out there and it reeks. Like it
Mm.
smells so bad. I'm like, so yeah, that was a rough few
Oh,
months, but they just came through and they tilled that under. So that's going to make things a lot more pleasant from here
yeah.
on out in the season.
Your
So
hunt's not going to stink now.
yeah, exactly. But yeah,
Oh,
my first time out, I had some birds at 400 yards. They kind of just trucked across the field. I only had so much time to hunt that morning, so I ended up trying to work my way around to that and kind of cut them off where they were going. But I kind of got in between like the hens and the toms, and then the hens kind of busted, and then the toms kind of got nervous, and I kind of boogered out of there.
Yeah.
I'm a little slow going so far, but I'm gonna be hitting it hard this weekend. So
Well, there you go. And that's the thing that I've found. So just quick facts in Georgia, they decided we didn't have enough turkeys, so they wanted to change our turkey season a few seasons ago. We used to be able to shoot three gobblers a season, and you could shoot them all in one shot if you wanted to. And then they pushed our season back a week, changed the limit to two, and you can only shoot one per day. So I guess
huh.
that's their way of saying, okay, well, people are going to kill less turkeys now. Well, with all that being said, pushing that thing back a week, like literally, we were working on our property yesterday, and before we left, I rode around to check one spot, and there was a hen with baby turkeys in the road. So we've already got and our turkey season is still in for 8 more days, and we've got
And there's
hens
still
with
little
babies.
hens with
Yeah.
babies. Wow, that's crazy.
So that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's how spread out our season is. So this last week of the season, I mean, I haven't been in Georgia. I tagged out in the first few days, and so then I started hitting other states and stuff. But my dad, he gets up every morning at our farm and he listens for just to sit on the porch and see if we can hear some gobble. He hadn't heard a turkey gobble in 3 weeks, and
And your season's still
he
going.
has seen gobblers, but he has not heard a turkey
Yeah.
gobble off on the roost in 3 weeks. It's like they're just done. I don't know. It's so weird this year. Like I was telling you earlier before we started, we got a ton of jakes, so I know that'll keep
Yeah.
gobblers quiet and stuff. But the flip side of that is, I think our turkey season is so messed up that they start breeding so early before the season. And if we have a warm snap in February, like they are losing their mind. They're just going at it. And so I think that on top of our season not starting until around the 1st of April has just jacked our whole turkey season up. And the
Yeah, that's
first
wild.
but I was going to say this for you guys, do you see a change in the season from say opening day? Are they really, henned up really, really bad? And then as you get to the middle to the later this part of the season, do you see those gobblers? They're more lonely then. Do they break off up that in your area, or are they kind of with hens the whole season?
Yeah, I mean, what my experience has been, like I've had really good luck with calling them in like early in the season, but a lot of times it just jakes and stuff are breaking off. But I feel like the best is like early May, and especially catching them off the roost before they, start chasing hens the rest of the day. And then I feel like toward the end of the month, though, the end of May, it just gets harder and harder. Like they just get henned up, they get more quiet,
Hmm,
and it's just harder to pull them in. So yeah, I would say like for me, my sweet spot has been like the first kind of like toward the like right very beginning of like May, and like the following like week and a half has been really where I've killed most of my birds in Michigan. But
gotcha. And this is so crazy. It's different everywhere because Um, we hunt down in Florida to start things off down there with a good buddy of mine, and it seems like they're henned up like off the roost for a little while, but then like I was
Mm,
telling you earlier, midday they're losing it. I mean, you can go if you
right.
get one to gobble at 10, 11 o'clock. He just get ready, take your safety off. He's coming, 100%. Like
Yeah.
it's nasty all the way
Yeah.
until dark almost. So like that, and
Yeah.
then
Well, I think some of our guys have definitely seen that. Like for me, I don't know, maybe I'm just not as dedicated of a turkey hunter where I sit out there all day. Like I normally hunt for a few hours in the morning,
hmm
and then I'm usually going and doing something else. So,
hmm
but some of our guys, like they're sitting like for a good part of the day. Sometimes they'll even go out for a midday sit and have really good luck with that. I guess I'm just not dedicated enough for turkeys to do that, but it works. It can
Well, see,
definitely work.
I'm the guy that's as long as the birds keep gobbling a little bit, I'll stick with them.
Hmm.
When they get just to where
Oh
all
yeah.
right, they're not
Yep.
doing anything, I'm not hearing
Yeah.
anything, I'm not seeing anything, then like all right, I'll go chill out and I may go back in the afternoon and give them a try. Um,
Hmm.
the other side of that is I'm not the guy that's going to go sit in the deer stand all day. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like even during the rut, oh man, like and I respect the guys, especially like Iowa and Illinois and Missouri. This even I don't know how you guys do it up that way. I've hunted Michigan a little bit, but it was we still did mornings and evening stuff. But
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
the rut, the guys that sit and just grind it out all day, lock on with their bow. I mean, good for them. And
Yeah.
I'm just not that mad at him. But if a turkey will start keep gobbling until noon, I'll stay mad at him as long as he wants to talk back.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. At least you can hear him. You know he's around, right?
Exactly.
Versus deer, you never know
Yeah.
what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I sometimes during the rut, I'll sit till noon if I'm
Hmm.
still seeing good activity. And sometimes at 10:30 in the morning during the rut
Yeah.
is like great. Like I've had really good activity then. But I have a, unless I'm traveling somewhere and I have a limited window to go after some animals.
Hmm.
If I'm just hunting around here by the house, like I'm not doing it all day shit. That's just too much.
Yeah.
That's a
I'm
long
the
day in
same
the
way.
tree, man.
I'm the same. Well, like I'm you. I'm like
Uh,
you. If heck, any time of the year doesn't matter what time of the year. As long as I'm seeing deer, I'll sit there, and
yeah, for
just
sure.
keep watching deer and keep seeing what happens, and then get out of there. But um, I don't know. I guess that been fortunate to hunt all over the place and do a bunch of cool stuff over the last 20 years or so, and um, I think I've got to the point where on deer that I sit there for a few hours and then I decide there's something else I can probably be doing to be productive than sitting here waiting on a deer that I can come back this afternoon and he may show back up then or come in then,
Yeah,
or a different one
exactly.
or whatever. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just not a I don't know. I'm not one of those that picks out one deer and just hunts him all season and stuff like that. I'd like to see
yeah,
different scenery and different
yeah,
areas and different spots and then just
yeah,
I don't know, let whatever happens.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that's it.
I mean, you can only be so picky too, and like I like to get out there and enjoy it, and I like to kill animals too. It's like like
They're
I'm
really
not.
they're really hard to eat
If
alive.
it's so true. So like when you put them in your freezer, you can it's a lot easier to eat them that way.
Yep.
And no, I just enjoy being out there. And if it's on my hit list, if it's big enough and mature enough, I'm taking them. Like
Yeah.
I'm not terribly picky. And you only have so many opportunities out there. Like you want to be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you, man. I mean, you can see some of my deer behind me and there's some great bucks in here, but there's also some that a lot of people are like, why'd you shoot that one? I said, because I wanted to. That's it. It doesn't matter to me.
Exactly.
I wanted to. It was fun. I was having fun.
Exactly. That's
So,
right. If it gets your heart pumping, man, and that
mhm.
kind of fits with the goals of what you're trying to do,
Yep.
then go for it.
Exactly. I'll never be mad at anybody for shooting a deer they're proud of. I don't care if it's
Yep.
a spike, man. That's just the way it is. So,
Yep.
well, shifting gears a little bit, what's new in the fourth arrow world over there? I mean, you guys, like I said, we've got a gauntlet of products, and not that we want to sit here and just talk about products for the next hour, but we do, guys, we've been working with you guys for I don't know many years now. But the thing with it is the whole goal from you guys' standpoint to me, these comes across as one, you're helping people be more successful out there. You're using technology to an advantage, and fine tuning things from like the fourth arrow camera arms. You've got stuff from if somebody wants to go pull out an old beta camera out of the closet and use it, they can, or they can have you guys little bitty tiny arms and stuff that people can just clamp on their stand and use with their cell phone if they want to film their hunt. And that's kind of how you guys kind of got this whole thing started, right?
Yeah, and it really all kind of came back to like the very beginning of the company. Actually, one of the first things we were dabbling with was the Wyndscent, which is our
Okay.
electronic scent vaporizer.
Okay.
And in trying to film that product and use kind of in the prototype stage, we're like, man, these camera arm systems that are out there, they're just so heavy and they're
Hmm.
like very limited with leveling. And a lot of us hunt some private ground here in Michigan where you're going back to your same spots, quite a few times, right? But there's other trees you hunt. So it's like you wanted a base that you could like leave there
Hmm.
and have it set up and not have to monkey with straps and all this stuff. So that's kind of where like the genesis of Fourth Arrow came in, where we just started dabbling in trying to make a better system for ourselves so we could film our Windscent product line.
Nice. Yeah.
And
Okay.
and then it was Fourth Arrow that really took off way faster than the Windscent did.
Yeah, it's
So it's
great.
like it's so funny how that works. Like one thing just kind of leads to the next. And so yeah, we created a system where you can preset your bases in your tree, and they're so affordable just to leave there.
Hmm.
If you hunt private land, you're good to go. And then our leveling mechanism we made as a separate piece, so you can carry that with you. That way, your expensive, leveling mechanism part that's a little more complicated and intricate, you're taking that with you, and you can just leave the simple base there. So, yeah, it's really fun. And kind of one thing led to the next. Like the Windscent line really took off then, and then our final rest shooting systems. kind of was a branch off from the camera arms
Hmm.
because we had all this equipment for putting, stabilizing your camera. And then Rob, our, founder, he was hunting with his dad, and his dad looks at him when his dad was getting up there in years, and he looks at him and he's like, "Hey," Rob was using one of our camera arms for the camera, and he's like, "Can I rest my crossbow on that?" And that's just one of those light bulb
Yeah.
moments, like, "Hey, you
Yeah.
could put a camera on this. What happens if you put a crossbow or a gun on this?"
Right.
So, of course, you got to beef it up a little bit, right? And
Yeah.
so that's kind of where the final rest came in too, is just another need that we saw while we're hunting. And like, I think that's where the coolest ideas come from when it comes to hunting products. Is it's hunters that are just out there trying to solve everyday problems, and
Yeah.
it's really fun to see all these little companies that pop up with guys trying to just solve problems and make things better.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
And it's a lot of those things that people, when they see the product, they either one or two things. They go, "Oh man, why didn't I think of that? Because that's really useful."
Right.
Or they
Yeah.
go, "I didn't even know I needed that, but now I know I need that." And that's
Right.
that's the way.
Exactly.
And I'm one of the
Uh,
I call myself a simplistic hunter. Like I don't like
yeah.
a lot of I don't like to be weighed down with a lot of different gadgets and stuff to take. And unless it's like well, I mean, Final Rest is a great example. When you guys adapted those where we could put the Arca plates on our guns for really quick
Hmm.
setup and all that. Like that's my go-to right there. So I mean,
Yeah.
I even have now where we've got several stands that if I know I'm gonna go hunt, two or three different blinds because we hunt mostly out of blinds, not because like that's the only thing we can hunt out of, but it's just we've set our property up for those things. And
Yeah.
my wife likes to hunt a bunch, and she likes to hunt by herself, and be honest with you, she doesn't want to climb up in a lock on. She'll kind of have a ladder stand sometimes. With my dad, he's up there in age. I don't want him having to climb up in
Yeah.
unsafe stuff. So, but
Yep.
in all those blinds now, we're scattering out enough product. Like you're going to get in a blind, there's already going to be a setup there. You just clip your gun in, and it's going to be in the right window and point in the right direction. So, it just makes life easier. And
Yeah.
having those functionality things, and you don't have to, they're super light to carry around if on a spot and stalk stuff and all that. But again, what I was saying is I'm very simple. Like Kevin's the one that like his backpack will weigh like 250 pounds. He's gonna have
That's how
seven
he
of
stays in
everything.
shape, Like that's a
Yeah,
workout, man.
that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, he's on that little Debbie diet. That's what keeps him in
Yeah.
shape there. But with all that being said, you guys honestly you think about things like that too though. So I mean your products they're minimalistic, they're super easy to use, they're thought out to be small, portable, lightweight. And to me that's worth their weight in gold when you're getting out there, especially on the spot and stalk type stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. Even when it comes to like the final rest, we want to make it as light and as easy to bring with you as possible. But even on the filming side, right? Like
Hmm.
filming is at the end of the day, if you don't have a show or something, it's optional, right? You don't
Yeah.
have to have a camera with you to kill an animal. But once you kind of dabble with it, like it's so much fun to be able to share those moments with other people,
Right.
to be able to review shot placement. Like there's so many benefits that come along with it. But you really, if you just want to test it, start with your cell phone. Like phones these days, especially for archery hunting, do really well.
Yeah.
And that's really been the biggest growth in our business over the last couple of years is so many guys are using their cell phone, and it really opens the doors up for pretty much anybody to film their hunts and experience that. So like I always tell people too on the filming side, like start simple, don't overcomplicate it, just have fun with it. You don't have to make it, too difficult on yourself.
I agree 100%, man. And I mean, this thing right here in my hand, it's got a better camera than the first cameras that we started with. And
Yeah.
the zoom on these things are so crazy now that,
Yeah.
I mean, you could probably get away with filming a deer 200 yards away with one of these phones now, the way with all
Yeah.
these different
Yeah.
lenses
You're
and
not
stuff
going to
in
get
there.
the detail if you shoot it at that range
No,
as
no, no,
far as
no.
where you hit
Yeah.
it, but
Yeah.
still like it takes the video.
Again, but like if you want to go back and show your buddies, you know what I mean, and like just
Right.
just, just
Yeah.
have fun with it, like we're talking about,
Yeah.
just being very simple with it. And I mean, and that's the gateway to anybody that starts filming their hunts is having something very simple to use. And then we want to learn a little bit more, learn how to edit a little bit, and then just,
Yep.
if nothing else, like I'm not saying jump on tomorrow and have your YouTube channel and learn how to do everything, but just have fun because I mean, like I sit back and been doing this for so long, and we've got camera guys and stuff that go sit with us or whatever. I don't do a whole lot of self filming, but when I do, I know I'm going to get good product out of it. Everything's going to be good, stable, and the rest is just on me if I can move and if I can pull it off.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
also, you can look back and enjoy those hunts, and I mean, I can't say that enough from doing this for 20 plus years that I can go back and watch stuff and go, man, yeah, I'm so glad we got that on video now.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's been some really fun hunts where I've taken like my younger brothers out and like or New Year's Day I took my well, she wasn't my fiance then, but she is now. I took
Well,
her out.
congratulations.
Thank you. I took her out and she shot her first deer, smoked that doe at 200 yards.
Mhm.
And she had never really shot a ton with like a bigger gun, shot 22 and stuff growing up. But um, just be able to look back on those memories is just so much fun.
And just to piggyback on that a little bit, like I said, my wife likes to hunt a lot, and deer hunting is her thing. Turkey hunting, she's kind of like, eh. But she loved just sitting out there in the stand and relaxing and watching the world, do its thing. But I think she didn't start hunting until we had met. And shortly after we met, that's when I started video and everything. And I don't think she's hardly killed many deer that haven't been on video.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
she's not killed a ton of deer. I mean, she probably killed 20 or 30 bucks, but we've got most all of them on video. So I'm like, you know what? There's probably not a lot of people out there that can say I've got almost every deer I've killed, on video, and just be able to
Right.
go back.
Yeah.
And
No
she could
kidding.
care less. It's all for me, to be honest with you. She's just like, yeah, whatever. I'll shoot it. She has fun. She's proud of them, but it's
Yeah.
just
That's
like,
great.
then I turn the camera to her. She's like, yeah, that's cool, huh? Yep, got him.
That's
Nice.
funny.
I'm way more excited. Now she gets excited. She's one of them.
Yeah.
Some people don't like attention, and she's that.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. No,
But
it is fun when you take a new hunter out and they get excited and just to
yeah,
be able to see that in their face. It's like, oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
That's where it's at right there.
And like hit on social media right quick. I mean, how many videos are out there? You see people that have, shot their first deer, shot their first turkey. And you just see that excitement, and us as
Hmm.
hunters that have, and even though you've done it 100 times, you still feel
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
we were in Texas this year, and I was telling you about that a little bit earlier. And I shot the turkeys that I shot, and we had like the rest of the day to hunt, and I was like, man, I'm good. I'm not gonna turkey hunt anymore. And my camera guy had never killed a Rio, so I was
Mm.
like the guy we're hunting with, he's like, yeah, man, buy a license. So he bought a license, and so I filmed him, and he looked at me. He's like, "Man, I never thought it'd be reverse roles, out here. You're filming me kill a turkey, and
Yeah.
it took us 15 minutes, and we called two in. He killed one,
That's so
and
funny.
I'm videoing it, and he's like, and
Uh,
he said he went back and watched the footage. He's like, "Dang, man, like you're pretty good behind the camera." I said, "Well, no crap. I've been doing this before you were born." So,
you're right. Oh,
um,
yeah. Sometimes I'll take some people out though, and it's like they'll get excited, but I get just as excited, or if not more
oh
excited,
yeah,
just watching them do it.
dude,
Like
especially
my
turkey
heart gets
hunting.
pumping too.
Oh, yeah, because I love to call turkeys. Like I don't know what it is. I just
Yeah.
like I
Yeah.
just make I get mad at them. I want to make them do the thing. And when I get them
Yeah.
jokers, I know they're because in Rios, to be honest, I don't know how much you've hunted Rios, but they
I have
them.
not ever hunted them.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you right now, if you go to like I do a lot of Rio hunting in Texas, and if you go to a good ranch there, and they got a bunch of, it seems like there's so many more male in the Rio genetic line somehow than
Mm-hmm.
they are females. For at least where I've hunted, it's almost
Yeah.
like if you can get that joker to gobble, he's going to be dead in a little while. Like they are. It's like when they gobble, they're like, "I mean business, and I'm coming." And I've hunted those jokers where like you could hear them gobble go just like was that a gobble? I think I heard a gobble. Did y'all hear a gobble? I think I heard a gobble. And then the next time that Joker gobbles, he's like 50 yards and coming. Like it's just they're that aggressive
Whoa,
sometimes.
that's wild.
And it makes you like when you go to a really good ranch like that that's just loaded with them and they want to die and you come back home you're like, man, this sucks. Like I don't
Yeah,
know why I'm
exactly. And
hunting.
then you got turkeys that just like hang up and don't really
Yes,
want to come in.
a hundred
Yeah.
percent, a
Well,
hundred
like
percent.
to me, turkey hunting was always like this. Like I grew up deer hunting. I didn't really grow up when I was younger turkey hunting.
Mhm.
And it wasn't more till later that I really got more into it. And like the more I do it, the more I enjoy it. But like my first bird, I was actually driving home from work and I had permission. I had like 160 acres by my house that I could hunt. And
Mhm.
then the neighbor gave me permission to turkey hunt his piece. And I saw this bird on the way home from work. in the neighbor's field. And then I quick got the shotgun, threw some camo on, ran back to the edge of that field, started calling. I called that thing in from like 150 yards away. And he left hens and left the other toms, just came right toward me. I'm like, this was easy. And then after that, you get those experiences where they just don't cooperate.
Yeah.
They just drive you nuts. And like when you feel like something should be easy and then it's not, it's just like, come on, stupid
Mhm.
animals.
And that's the thing. Like growing up here in South Georgia, I didn't start turkey hunting until I was probably in my early 20s. And
Hmm.
when we started turkey, it's like my cousin and I we decided, yeah, let's just do this turkey hunting thing. What's it about? And my uncle actually took me, and I remember the first time we went. I mean, got to hear a bird gobble. A hen came in like right to my boot, and then I saw a gobbler like in this hardwood bottom. And he's strutting, and he was with a hen. He'd gobble, but he wouldn't break off and come. And then finally, he walks on off, and then we go home because, like I was telling you, like just like you were talking about, you get up and go hunting at daylight, and you hunt a couple hours, and if it doesn't work, you just quit and go back the next morning. And that's how I
Hmm.
thought. I didn't know they gobbled all day. I didn't know could kill a
Right.
turkey in the afternoon, but we didn't have many turkeys. Like there was enough to hunt, but we would literally hunt on our farm. Man, we would hunt the whole turkey season and hope we kill one turkey. Like just
Mm. Wow.
and our limit was three back then, but it was one of them like there was one spot on our farm, a pond, and they might be one, two, or three gobblers there every year behind that pond that roosted, and that's it. Like you hunted
Mm.
those turkeys, and if you either killed them or you didn't, and that was it. And then, being able to go to other states and other places, and we grew our turkey population in Georgia, but to go somewhere where, like a South Texas, where on the best hunt I've ever had in South Texas in 3 days, I caught in 25 gobblers. Like it's insane. I mean,
That's
I was calling
nuts.
two, three, four, five. One group of seven came in at one time. Like it's just insane. But a lot's changed on that ranch since then. But with that being said, like when you go and experience something like that, growing up hunting and cutting your teeth on just trying to kill one gobbler that you
Yeah.
know about all season, when you get somewhere like that, bro, it's like, okay, I'm fixing to pour thee cold of these things. How many can I kill?
Yeah.
Four? Okay, they're going to
Yeah,
be this
exactly.
large.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that in a heartbeat. But anyway, I know we
Yeah.
got sidetracked on turkey stuff, but that's on our brain this time of year. But
Yeah,
yeah, if
exactly.
you get a chance to go Rio hunting, jump on it, and especially if
All
it's
right.
somewhere that they know they got a bunch of birds and if I can line up something on these places I got, I'll let you know. You never,
All right.
I
Sounds good.
can slip in a few spots here and there, but we'll try to
There
make
we
it
go.
happen. But
There we go.
anyway, going back to yeah, we were getting people into the hunting and filming side of this thing. Um, with Fourth Arrow, I mean, like I said, you guys, I'm glad you told me that story because I didn't know that the Windscent, was the egg or the chicken. You know what I mean? It kind of
Yeah.
went that way, and then Fourth Arrow came out of it, and then Final Rest, and then um, you guys a few years ago decided you're gonna want to get hunting blinds rolling out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's been kind of a fun thing. And so the blind company was actually an acquisition, and that company was another Michigan company that started right around the same time Fort Arrow started back in 2016. And it's kind of funny because we we go to a lot of local shows up here. We do a lot of like safari club banquets and different events like that. And we kept meeting this other guy, and his name was Rob. And so Rob, our founder, and this other Rob got talking and stuff, and they had all these things in common, which is hilarious. And then, um, so yeah, they were the prior owner. He was more the sales guy, and there was another guy that was doing more the manufacturing side, and he really wanted somebody to come and help him because his partner kind of got out of it for health reasons. So he wanted somebody to come in like, hey, we can take this, next step further. So yeah, that was really fun addition to the lineup. And the fun thing with their blinds, when we bought them is like, hey, we can make these to integrate with the final rest really, really well. Like that's the fun thing with the blind is whether it's camera arms or the shooting rest systems, we can incorporate our fixed blind bases and our different systems where it's easy to drop a camera arm or shooting rest system off the wall. So that was kind of the thing that really attracted us to it as well. And, we make them all right here in the shop, right? Like, so the manufacturing side is completely different. You go from, manufacturing a small camera arm that you can ship in a box to now we're talking big blinds and, all the logistics of shipping and all that. It's just completely different animal, but it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, we kind of been revamping the blind over the last couple of years. Um, the cool thing with the Slayer blind is they're modular. So if guys don't have a tractor to pick up their blind and move it around, or if they want to be able to just throw a blind in the back of a pickup truck, take it up north to hunting camp, set up the blind and hunt out of it for a weekend, leave it there or bring it back. And it's a, you know, beautiful, hard sided blind that's going to withstand weather and everything. Like these things are built to last pretty much a lifetime with the materials. Um, like a lot of guys really, really like that fact about them. So they have an aluminum base, aluminum frame. They had a Truid or like a Smart Side composite siding on the outside, but we're actually switching that to aluminum. So now we're our kind of our flagship blind is going to be aluminum base, aluminum framing, and aluminum panel. So one piece thermoform plastic roof, a real glass windows. So like they're really designed to last a lifetime. And a lot of us that have built our own blinds in the past, like when you hunt out of a really nice blind that's really, sealed up, you're not getting mice in there and all this other stuff, like
Mhm.
it's a really nice experience.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
so yeah, it's been fun. It's like I said, it's been a fun challenge learning all the ins and outs of that type of business, but it's been a great time.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I'm glad to hear you brought those points up because that's what I was going to say. The cool thing about those blinds is it integrates so well with everything you guys have, and you've thought it all out. Where you're not going to have stuff in your way. It's all in a functional location that you can move it around, and that I mean, of course, the hunting blind industry in itself has just gone crazy in seems like the last 5 or so years for sure. And with that being said, I think it's due to the fact just what you hit on when somebody goes somewhere and they hunt, and either at an outfitter or at a friend's, farm or ranch or whatever, and they hunt out a really nice blind, and man, that was comfortable, got a nice chair, got windows, for any direction, just got all these things that are thought out from that comfort level. Then, yeah, man, I want one of these, and then so many people, especially down here in the South, a lot of private landowners and then people, buying property. And when they do that, they do it for hunting. And it's like, I'm going to go ahead and spend the money because I'm already buying however much, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars on this piece of property. And then I'll go ahead and set it up right. So I'm going to go ahead and get me 4 or 5 really nice blinds and put it here, put it here, put it here, put a food plot in, put feeders in, whatever, floats your boat. But having that, I can just slip in and out to my blind. I mean, I've even thought these things out where when we plant trees, I'm planting trees where, okay, this row of trees is going to grow and I'm going to be able to drive right here. The
Yeah.
blind's going to be right here at the end of these
Yeah.
trees. And these are going to be, what I mean? I'm thinking all these things
Yeah.
out. So, for the future, because like you said, I'm planning on having that blind there forever. And I mean,
Yeah.
when I'm gone, I don't care who does what with it after that, but it's
Yeah, exactly.
but I also like the thought out part of having that style of blind, that well built, thought out, sealed up, when in a portable mentality, because that's the biggest obstacle that I know me, even me
Right.
personally, on some of the bigger older blinds that we have on our property. Yeah, if we're gonna go, some we can't move, like you said, we built
Right.
these things like they're sacreted in the ground. They're not going anywhere
Yeah.
until it's a tornado
Yeah.
hits them or tree falls on them. But then there's some spots that I've got blinds right now. Guys come in and we cut some timber or something like that, and now, man, I was set up to look this way, and now I can see a whole different direction. Now, but I can't turn this blind now, so now I'm just gonna have to sit and look out a weird window, But
Right.
having a more modular, portable, manipulative blind like you guys have thought about, that's really easy to do that with. That's where I think this whole side of hunting blind world needs to start looking
Yeah.
at, because then
Yeah.
and a lot of guys that I know, even me personally, I mean, we lease a lot of land, and you never know. I mean, that land could sell, or something
Right.
happen, you don't have it anymore, and then
Yeah.
what am I going to do? I got a two, three, $4,000 blind that I built or
Yeah.
bought and put right there that's anchored in the ground. I
Yeah.
guess I'm just going to let it go.
And there's some spots, you can't even get a tractor in to pick up a blind and move it, right? Like that's the nice thing is I can build a 7 foot tower and actually build the blind and assemble it right on that tower. So I can go way back in, next to a swamp and put one there, or up on a ridge where it'd be really challenging to get a tractor because it's not level or it's really tippy.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many advantages too of just hunting out of a blind in general. Like, I mean, it's much nicer in the rain.
Oh, 100%.
and and even scent, like you can get away with a little bit more if you have marginal wind direction, like you can seal yourself up in there and like wait to open that window, for once to
Mhm.
actually kind of get past you in the,
Mhm.
if they're coming from behind you and then kind of work through and get in front of you, then you can, position yourself for the shot. So um yeah, there's so many benefits. It can extend your season in a much more comfortable manner, especially up here where,
Mm. Oh,
oh man, New
yeah.
Year's Day when we were out, it was like 15 degrees, like 15-mile-an-hour wind. Like the
Mhm.
wind chill was brutal. And
Mhm.
to be able to get inside of a nice structure was a lifesaver.
Yeah, and we're big fans. Even down here in the South now, I'm not going to say we get 15 with 15-mile-an-hour winds, but we do get pretty cold for down here. And when you add in like 80% humidity with that cold, I mean, you really feel a
Oh
lot
yeah.
colder than you are.
Oh, we were in Texas 2 years ago, and we're thinking like, we coming from up here where it was cold, but we're like going to South Texas. This is gonna be warm. This is gonna be great. And we had our warm, like everyday poofy jackets that we wore down, wore in the plane down there.
Hmm.
And we get down there, and the first day was really nice. We're hunting in our t-shirt or like long sleeve shirt. And then the rest of the time, it was like really humid and like kind of rainy and like cold. And like there's something about cool damp that just bites into you. And like we were thankful for those poofy jackets
Yeah,
because like
dude, I'm
it can
telling you.
get it can get cold just because of damp and cold. Like
Yeah.
that's worse than dry and cold.
Exactly, exactly, and that's the thing we get to experience down here. I mean, when you go down out some mornings, and it's more so like later in the year. It's going to be maybe December if we get lucky. We really get some really cold weather, and then January our season goes until early mid January. That's when we try to we're still buck hunting if we got tags, but I mean we try to do some doe management then and all that, and so we're taking people that a lot of people that they just want to shoot a doe for the freezer. All right, come go with me, and we may get some of that cold weather, but then slipping them in a shooting house, like that, or blind and have a heater in there. Like
Hmm.
my dad's, it could be 45 degrees outside, and he'll go in the blind in like a long sleeve, lightweight shirt, maybe lightweight jackets and pants, and he'll wear he calls his patio shoes just to slip on shoes. He just gets there and cuts the blind on. I mean, the heater on in the blind. He doesn't care. Like he's like, that's what it's here for. I don't have to get all this crap and wear it, to the blind.
Exactly. I mean,
So.
if you can hunt in comfort, I guess you may as well, right?
Well, that's what I tell everybody. And we get a lot of hate on social media we get hate on social media for everything we do. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Um, but especially like when they see us, we're hunting a food plot sitting in a blind or something like that. I'm like, well, why not? Number one, it's legal in our state, and we obviously have some good luck here, so it's a pretty good spot. But it's like, oh, it must be nice to hunt out of your blind and your heater. And I'm like, yes, it's very nice. Don't get me wrong. And a lot of
Yeah.
times, people will chime in and go like, yeah, you're just mad 'cause you don't have one.
Yeah, exactly. Half the people are just jealous.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But if you have that kind of setup, and again, say like Iowa's, I love hunting Iowa. Iowa doesn't love me, but I do love Iowa because there's just you never know when a giant might walk out. But if you can hunt that late season, but if you got a really nice blind with a heater on it on a food source, man, you can kill some giant deer. But you gotta, you can hunt longer. You can sit all day or half the day or whatever you want to do, but be comfortable and you're going to be more successful. That's what I tell everybody. I mean, if
Yep.
you
Yep.
if you're telling me it's 15 with 15-mile-an-hour winds and I got to go sit on a metal lock on 30 feet up of an
Yeah,
oak
not
tree,
gonna
I'm
happen.
not
Yeah.
going, bro. I'm just
Yeah.
sorry. I'm just going to stay at the house.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm the type too where it doesn't matter what I do. If it's really cold out, my toes are gonna get cold.
Yeah.
Like eventually my toes are gonna get cold. I bought the thickest boots that they sell
Hmm.
and they still eventually get cold.
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
heated socks help, but but that's really what it comes down to is you want to be able to just increase your odds of being able to kill an animal. And, and also too, with being able to take new hunters or, older folks or whatever it is, the blind just makes it so much easier to accommodate that,
Yeah.
hides the movement. There's so many benefits that you get from it.
I don't know how many of my buddies like they take their kids, especially when they were smaller or the ones that do have smaller kids, and they'll put a blanket or sleeping bag in the floor, give them some snacks. Dad gets to hunt,
Hmm.
mom gets left
Yeah.
alone. The kids put their headphones on and watch their phones or iPads or play whatever, and get up and look around every once in a while. I mean, think about that. All the dads that listen to this, like we just you can get brownie points right now. at home
Yeah, exactly.
with the wife. You take the kids
You
hunting
can
with
go
you.
hunting and babysit at the same time.
Exactly. Exactly. Just tell the kids like, hey, y'all just be still for about 2 more minutes. Dad's fixing to squeeze off on this one.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah,
then
you don't want to mess them up.
they're gonna love it. They're gonna
Uh,
get to watch it. You get to introduce them to it. You know, that's how I started, man. My dad started taking me when I was, 5, 8, 9 years old and just
yeah.
sitting in the stand, which we didn't have any kind of blinds like that back then. It was I think literally the first time I went deer hunting, he put a lock on the bottom of a tree where I could sit on the platform and he was sitting in the seat and my feet could still touch the ground. We just sat on a field edge and watched deer. So I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. And then when I had to
That's
start
fun.
climbing up in the lock on and stuff, I was like, hey man, this isn't what I signed up for when I was little. And,
Oh,
and
that's
and
great.
now he's got blinds that he's built and stuff all over our farm, and that's all he hunts out of now. He just goes and sits in
Yeah.
different blinds. So I'm excited to get him in a Slayer, to be honest with you, because he'll be that
Yeah,
guy.
for
It's like,
sure.
yeah, put this right here for me and get it lined
Yep.
up. And, all right, I got you.
That'd be great.
So
That's great.
well, then one more thing I want to talk about that you guys make is the Wyndscent unit, and I know you guys have a new one that's just rolling out for this year.
Yeah. Yeah, we actually just released our new Windscent 3.0 and kind of did some updates over the Wyndscent 2.0. For those of you that aren't familiar with Wyndscent, basically it's a scent vaporizer. It's similar to like an e-cigarette, and that's kind of where the
Mhm.
the idea kind of came from. Except you can basically heat up and vaporize out myriad of different hunting scents. So your doe and heat, your buck and rut, like a bunch of different scents, cover scents, attractant scents. I've had really, really good luck using it as a cover scent. Like it's been incredible. And we got, you know, quite a few scents from different, and we're partnered with quite a few different scent companies. So most of your top scent brands that you see, at the store and online, we carry a bunch of those as well. So it's been just a really effective way where when you use traditional scents, you might put it on a pad or put it on a rag or whatever. And if it's really cold out, it's going to freeze. If it's really warm, it's going to evaporate because it's water based, right? And then it's just not going to be as effective once that initial scent gets released. Whereas with the wind scent, it's actually on a timer where it's going to hit a burst of vapor out there every minute or every 3 minutes. And then it's also remote controlled. So if you want to manually fire it a few times and then pause it, you can do that. So it's kind of like if you took your regular scent pad or whatever and every like minute put more scent on it, like that'd
Yeah,
be ridiculous.
exactly.
But with this, you can actually do that essentially, and it's automatic. So it's been it's been so fun. Like all the stories we get every fall, and you're going to have your guys shooting smaller bucks and then some of these bigger buck stories, even ones where they might even not be technically using it right with how they're playing the wind.
Hmm.
We've had some big mature bucks come from just about downwind, and I don't know how they didn't smell the hunter, and they've harvested these animals, right?
Yeah.
So it's been really fun. The 3.0 unit, for anybody that's familiar with our Windscent 2.0, the 3.0, a little bit more compact. It's got improved cold weather performance. So even up here where it's, in Michigan late season where it's super cold, it's going
Hmm.
to run well for you. And then it's got a little bit easy, more portable. It's got a little hang hook on it and stuff. You can more easily hang it. And yeah, it's just got some fun improvements. And yeah, we just launched that online a couple weeks ago. So we're pretty excited about it.
I will say one of well, number one, yes, it's a great tool for dispersing scent. Period. I mean and all the units work great on that. So I'm excited about the 3.0. Excited to get one in my hands, and I know Kevin and I are going to make you a great video on it, by the way. But I'm as a bow hunter, it's like one of the most useful things in the world to me because I can go put it out there and I have a yardage mark 100%. Like
Hmm.
like if I go put that at 20, there, I know that mark right there. I can judge on the fly really quick, changing your sight pin or I shoot single pin. So I can judge, okay, that deer's, a little bit further than 20. So hold, a tick high if I need to or whatever. But with that being said, you like walk out there, put it out there. It does its thing, like you said, with the remote, all that, and it's almost like it's covering your six, so the whichever way the
Hmm.
wind's blowing, it's definitely going to push it that way. And I'm dumbing it down for rednecks like me. I mean, it's like almost I don't know, it's cheating a little bit because now you know your yardage, and now you got, I've had deer walk right up to them. I actually had a on the thermal pad unit. I actually had a buck walk up to it and pull the pad out and chew on it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I think I got the video
That is,
somewhere. I got to go pull
oh,
it.
I gotta see this video. That's
He
awesome.
walked up there and he just started smelling on it, and he bit the pad and chewed on it, and then he spit it out like, okay, that tastes like crap, I guess. But I gotta find that video. I don't know. I mean, it's been a couple years ago, and I meant to pull that clip and save it. But I remember I was in Kentucky, but I can't remember. I gotta go find it now. That's gonna bother
That's
me. But
hilarious. Yeah,
yeah.
this last year I was hunting some public land and I threw the unit out there and I had a buck come like right up to it and I had the unit at like 10 yards. I just was hunting up, 17 feet up in the saddle
Mhm,
and like he came in right into my lap. I'm like, that's really cool. Like, and then
mhm,
I had a doe earlier in the season last year. I don't remember if I was running apple or sweet corn. It was one or the other. And I had the unit out in front of me a little bit further than I normally do, but the wind was kind of going like right to left across in front of me. And this doe was cutting in quite a ways to my left, and she was going to come toward me and eventually get downwind of me. But she got downwind of the unit first.
mm.
And all of a sudden, she's like picking up her nose. And she worked over 100 yards from left to right,
Wow.
like upstream, right toward that unit, and like putting her nose right up against it, checking it
Hmm.
out. And I'll tell guys, like, even early season, even if you're hunting a food plot, not always do the deer actually come to where you want them in the food plot.
Hmm.
Running a sweet corn or apple scent, deer, especially early season, they're really curious and they
Hmm.
want to check things out, right? They're not all on high alert, like they have a bunch of hunting pressure, right? And just using a food-based attractant like that, that kind of pricks their curiosity,
Hmm.
especially even if you're going after does. Like if you want to smack a couple does early season with the bow, that is a great way to get them right where you want them. And
Hmm.
it's surprise. It's really cool how it works.
It is, man, and that's I know everybody's got their thing on scents or whatever. I was one of those guys kind of coming along. We all remember the big name stuff. Years and years ago, coming up as a hunter, I would buy all kind of stuff. I'd spray it here, spray it there, and dude, some of that stuff is so old and smelled so bad because, like you said, when it's all watered down, whatever it's
Yeah.
made of, and you get out there and you spray it or you pour it out on put it on a wick or hang it on a tree limb or whatever. um it's almost like you're putting something out there to alarm the deer. I mean, a little bit, because
Hmm.
if it's either not natural or it's just that bad offer. Because I mean, what people don't realize too is, if that stuff sits in a hot warehouse for a year through the summer, like it's going to be bad. But the units you guys have, I mean, those little cylinders, they're airtight. They're sealed up. So when we put them in the unit, that's when they
Right.
screw in and they get opened up then.
Yeah. And the nice thing too is like the way our process works, it takes all the water out.
Hmm.
So because the only way for it to vape is it has to be oil based, right? So there's nothing in there that's going to make that spoil after that,
Hmm.
which is really nice. And that's the difficulty with that water based scent is, it's going to just degrade over time and it's going to get a completely different smell after a while, which isn't great.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. People don't realize any kind of scents and like that, when they're exposed to oxygen, just open air, it
Hmm.
breaks them down a lot faster too. And I probably
Hmm.
know way more about this than I should just from doing research on stuff over the years. But that. I mean, really, because I've always looked for, okay, if I'm going to use this stuff, one, it's got to work. Two, I don't want to blow deer out. And that's because,
Right.
especially hunting down here where we hunt, man, like you literally may only see that buck once the whole season,
Hmm.
and he may be one you have on camera, you don't have on camera, the one you're hunting or not hunting, but either way, you only usually get one shot at him and that's it.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm not saying you can't, maybe another one comes by, but I also don't want to be sitting there and have used the wrong product or something that's bad, and have that buck come in. I mean, I've done it before. Unfortunately, I've seen them. They've come in and I got my bow and they hit it right there, and they smell and they go, man, that ain't right, and turn around and leave, and they were headed
Right.
around too. I would have got a shot if I hadn't used the product. How's that?
Right.
And
Right.
now, but now again, we're going back to technology, advancements, and being able to put this stuff in that purest form and get it out there. And I mean, it's just been a game changer for us, man, and we're gonna keep
Yeah,
doing it.
no,
I do
it's
like the grenade.
it's
I'm not gonna lie. I use the grenade all the time. That's my wind check go to right there, buddy.
yeah, I do love that in the tree. It's kind of addicting getting used to like just puffing that little vapor out,
Yeah.
and watching that vapor, kind of drift in the wind and check the
Hmm.
thermals and all that. But
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
even for guys that might be a skeptic of using scents as an attractant. Like using it as a cover scent has been extremely effective. And most of our cover scents, of course, we have like pine and earth and different ones like that. But our most popular ones are like a little bit of doe urine mixed with earthy tones. And it's just what they're used to smelling out there in the woods. And I've had so many deer, and it's one of those things when it comes to scent and playing the wind and all that. Like you can try to be scent free, use your scent killer spray, use all these different things. It's not going to be always 100% effective,
Mhm.
but the more you can layer on top of, all those things to try your best, the better off you're going to be. And I have seen that work time and time again, where even if sometimes they catch a whiff of something that doesn't seem quite right, when they smell that, cover scent, it just smells like a bedding area.
Mhm.
It relaxes them. And I've seen that be so effective too. Like, if you told me like which way if you could only use a Windscent unit one way the rest of your life would be a tractor or cover, I'm like, that would be a hard one because like
Mhm.
it's so effective as a cover scent. That right there be your biggest key to having your deer come in. Because
Mhm.
if you got those busting behind you, that buck that's in front of you, he's not going to come in. So
Mhm.
it's such a critical part of, that your whole hunting experience is keeping those deer calm.
Yeah, 100%, man. And that's the thing. You hit the nail on the head. Like I've had the best success out of any of the scents on my end is just that it smells like deer. It's not a
Hmm.
rut. It's not an estrus. It's not, and the attractants work really well. Just that having something with a sweet smell to it, like the corn or apple or something
Hmm.
like that. Because that's deer are inquisitive, like you said, by nature, and they like fruit. Um, they don't like oranges, by the way. Don't, yeah. um, but with that being said, just having, like you said, something that smells like a deer, that smells like a bedding area, like that usually has been solid. And I've even hit cuts, really big bucks with my bow, just coming in to smell those type scents because I think you said just makes them calm, and they're like, well, I know that's something, but it smells like shit what it should smell like, and it's not smelling like a
Right.
person. So,
Yeah.
but again, to go back to what you said on that, if even if you use your scent elimination sprays, and then you throw your Windscent in there, and just whatever anything to get an advantage percentage over that nose. If you gain 5 or 10% for every tool that you use like that, it's 100% is your worst case scenario being smelled. If you reduce that to 50%, guess what? That just bought you some time to get
Yeah.
your get a shot.
And sometimes 3 more minutes is all you need. Like just like a little
Mhm.
bit of time or 3 more steps.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
it comes to a game of inches sometimes or a game of seconds. And
Yep.
just any little advantage you can get can be so helpful. Like we spend so much time in the woods and like you want you want that actual time where those deer are right there in range to like be worth it. You
Yep.
don't want to mess it up in those moments or else,
Mhm.
it's all in vain.
Exactly, man. And that's the thing. There's other products like scent elimination products out there. Like most of your field sprays, scent elimination sprays that you like apply on your clothes or your boots or whatever, your backpack and all that. I mean, you're talking, a what, $8 to $12 bottle of spray. That's
Hmm.
not a lot of money. Then you add, or you can look at like the ozone products that are out there, you know, hundreds of dollars, but you're paying for an advantage. And I'm a big fan of
Hmm.
ozone. I'm not gonna lie. Like I do
Hmm.
use those products religiously, especially when I'm bow hunting. And I've had some really good luck with deer coming downwind, and not getting busted. But again, you use like your salination spray, then you use your ozone spray, or your ozone treatment, if you whatever you want to call it, generator. And then you throw in like a wind scent, a attractant in there, or a curiosity scent or something. Like we are gaining advantages with every step of this thing. And yes, it sounds like a lot just for a deer. But as a bow hunter, you get it when people lay it all out
Yeah.
there, like bow hunters are like, we're going to try to test everything out. Just get just another
Yeah.
3 steps, like you said, another 5 yards
Yeah.
for an advantage. It's not like rifle hunt. I mean, yeah, I'm still going to use them rifle hunting just to cover my area, but I mean, I'm also shooting
Yeah.
1,000 yard gun. So if I'm set up where I
Right.
can see 500 yards and he comes out at 450, then he's going to die anyway. I just, just
Yeah.
the way it is, right?
Exactly.
That's when the final rest advantage comes in, like
Yeah.
that dude, I'm not
Yeah.
freehanding it, So, I mean,
Yeah.
again, as hunters, we're gadgety, but we're also paying for an advantage. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
So, well, buddy, with that, I think we laid down some pretty good facts and knowledge here for everybody to
Yeah.
understand, hopefully, and get something out of this and check out some. And that we're like I said, we're not here trying to pimp products, but we're trying to put out stuff that people can be more successful and have fun in the woods with. That's what it's
Yeah.
about.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate your time, brother. If you want to, just throw out there right quick where everybody can check out everything.
Yeah. Yeah. If you go to fourtharrow.com, that basically has links to everything, whether it's Wyndscent, camera arms, blinds, final rest. So fourtharrow.com.
There you go, guys. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate your time, man.
Yep.
And
Thanks for having me on.
we'll catch up again soon.
Sounds good.